Hi everybody and welcome to DisruptED TV, where every little idea could make potentially a big difference in your classroom or your school. My name is Al Cini.
I'm still Joe Asamendi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Real pleasure. And with us today, Joe, we've got J.D. Wilson, who is the founder of Lead You, as if you couldn't tell from his shirt.
Right here.
And, we were talking before the program, and excited about having you on as a guest, primarily because you do something that's different, something we haven't talked about before. Looks to me like you create educational experiences for students working in conjunction with schools. Is that right?
Absolutely, that's right. So yeah, the whole idea behind Lead You is that we customize school assemblies.
Okay.
Having been a teacher myself and sitting through a lot of assemblies, I got thinking, what can we do a little bit differently that's very interactive and totally engaging for the students? And I said, well, if you want to be interacting and you want to engage, it really helps to do your homework. So I said, let's meet ahead of time with the guidance counselors and the principals, which is what we do. After we have that preliminary meeting, we say, what's going on in your building and what is the culture like in your building? What approach would work for us? So when I come with my team and we end up doing the assembly, what's going to have the best results and true impact instead of the surface level impact. And I think what's really working about the program is that we genuinely enjoy what we do. And you can kind of see that, and the kids kind of pick up on that.
The kids get all excited.
The kids pick up on it. The teachers are familiar with us by the time we get there, and it feels more like a movement rather than just a show.
Now, I'm reading a little description that you brought with you.
That's right.
You start with learning objectives. So the learning objectives could be empowerment or mindfulness.
Absolutely.
Or anti-bullying, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, it all comes down to whatever the school district would like, or whatever the principal would like, or the guidance counselors. I said, what is it specifically? And it always surprises us when we get some of these topics. You would think it's always the same thing, but they come up with some really unique other topic levels that come up. There is always mindfulness. That seems to be a really big push right now, and it's good because it's real and it works. But then there's also anti-bullying. We always feel at Lead You, the word bullying has been used so much. The kids in general also they hear this word, they hear it, but let's look beyond the word and maybe focus on kindness. Which seems like maybe it's a little simple-minded, but no, kindness, we understand what the bully does and the different types of bullying. Well, what can you do to be an upstander?
Let's talk about what a kind person does.
Yes.
It's kind of like an antidote to bullying, if you think about it.
Exactly.
So that's interesting.
And I think what it is that really works is that instead of just talking about it, it's not me just talking or my crew just talking. It's hands-on. They get up, they move around, they work in small groups, and they learn through experience. And as a teacher, that's what I always felt. I always felt that students learn through experience, and why not do that in assemblies? When they get up and they're doing an activity, and then we process it and then we talk about it, I think that has a much bigger impact. They're going to remember that moment.
Oh, sure. And it's an experience, you're not playing a tape for them that they're watching.
Exactly.
They're involved in exercises and activities that actually teach the lessons.
Yes, yeah.
How many kids?
Per assembly?
Yeah.
Oh man, we've done a lot. I think the biggest we've done, I just did one last week, which was I think there was 750.
750 kids in one
assembly, which isn't our traditional. What I like to do is break it up, maybe because of content. Maybe if it's a K to 8 school, maybe do K to 2 assembly, then a 3 to 5 assembly, and then a 6 to 8. But we can customize. So if it's 750 kids, we'll make it happen. We'll make it work. We prefer the smaller groups because I think that's how you get the bigger impact.
When you have a large group like that, what kind of topics did you cover?
That type of group, we did a whole lot of bullying, and we did mostly just cyberbullying. That was a big topic, and responsibility of your cell phone. I will say that usually all of our assemblies end with a really good leadership and confidence kind of lesson as well. And instead of, again, using that word bullying, which keeps coming up, we like to focus on, your cell phones are such a huge responsibility. And we understand that, and your cell phones can be used positively. They don't. It doesn't always have to be something where it's being used negatively. And what can you do? Well, what we always say at Lead You is you can pause before you post. We love that saying because you think before you act. Before you put something out there, always know that it's permanent. And it stays out there forever. And it's so whatever you put out in a text, anything you say in social media, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be in the cloud. It's going to be, you can screenshot it, whatever it is. So cyberbullying was a big one for that big group.
Wow, that's a biggie.
Yeah.
750 kids.
Yes.
Was this an outdoor or an indoor?
This was an indoor.
That was an indoor. So you had a large auditorium, obviously, 750 kids.
Really large group.
And to manage 750 kids, you need a team.
Oh yeah.
you have a crew.
Yes. So the Lead You crew. Can we do entrance music for that?
Sure.
The Lead You crew.
There you go.
I wish we could get them all now. Or baseball cards come out. But the Lead You crew, they are one of a kind. They are passionate, genuine humans. Who right now I have 32 teaching artists who they come along with me. I don't bring all 32. It just depends on the group. So if we have a large group like 750, we have to look at the numbers and bring a whole lot more. If it's a smaller group, I can bring 5 or 6 of the Lead You crew. But the Lead You crew, we do training annually. We do semi-annual training as well, where we just we go in and they know how to engage and, for lack of a better word, win over the students, because we have a very small window of them sitting there saying, am I in or out? And we want that, and we get, the Lead You crew is great at getting them in.
Getting them, grab them right away early on and keep them for how long? How long is it?
Usually an hour. If it's pre-K or kindergarten, I like to 10 to 50 minutes, because you start, no matter how engaging and passionate you are, I think the attention span, you start getting a little wandered. I start wandering a little bit, but usually to an hour. Now we also do leadership workshops for high school, and the high school level, sometimes those can go 90 minutes or full day experiences. Again, it depends on whatever the administration is looking for.
And I'm guessing you've never done 2 of these quite alike. They're all different.
They are all different. A lot of the similar topics do come up. So we have a bag of tricks basically where we say, okay, you want us to do something on mindfulness? Here, how's this? And then they look it over. Oh, that'll work. So we might use the same activity at other schools, but it's all kind of mixed together, almost like eating at a buffet.
And your team U is kind of like we were talking before the program, Mission Impossible. I tell you what the issue is.
That's right.
And how many kids I've got, and then you look through your headshots until you find
100% Mission
teaching
Impossible.
artists.
Yes.
Teaching artists.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me, I've never seen that on a business card. What is a teaching artist?
Teaching artists, teaching artists, it's a real thing. A teaching artist to me is combining the educational background and the love for the arts, and it's somebody who also appreciates the art of teaching, and can kind of say, it's no longer just reading out of a textbook, go answer these questions. It's approaching teaching through the lens of an artist, if that makes a little bit of sense. And it's also, so for me, it's this in-between field. So the first question that always comes up is like, what credentials do I need to be a teaching artist, and what are those specific credentials? And this, maybe this shouldn't be the thing I'm saying, but like I hire so much, not only on obviously your background, but your personality.
Sure.
And when I look into your eyes, and you guys, I know you're talking about emotional intelligence and things of that nature, and when we have that conversation, do you care about what you're about to do, and is this something you want to be involved with? And we hire based a lot on your passion for empowering students and empowering kids. It's not necessarily something, and maybe someday you go to school and you'll become a teaching artist degree, and
could be
8-year program or something, and whatever it might end up being. But for me, it's a teaching artist is someone who has a passion for kids and teaches through the arts.
That's great.
The Webster Dictionary version, I'm not sure if that's it, but that's our definition.
Works for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All ages, any particular age range? So they're older people, younger people?
Yeah, K to 12 is what we've always looked at. We also offer like a summer camp thing for high school kids. It's just different. I have a passion because I taught that 3 to 5 age, grades 3 to 5.
Okay.
So I always have a passion for that. But I'm learning that the K to 2 experiences, I am so maybe this was on me, but I'm so surprised every time I go to an assembly and we pass around the microphone what a kindergartner is thinking. Sometimes I'm nervous handling that moment. And you say, okay, what do you think? You give it to them. I'm like, I hope he says something right, But they usually 9 times out of 10 they will say something brilliant, and I just take a moment. And I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. I'm learning so much from them, and we're learning as it's all going on.
That's great.
You had a teaching background, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I also understand you had a military background.
Yes, military background.
How did that help you in forming Lead You?
Great question. So I have to say the military first, because that was first. My military background, I did 4 years. I was in the United States Air Force. About 3 of them I was deployed for. I was over in the desert for 2 deployments during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And at the time, if you ask me what is this preparing me for, I didn't realize what was happening to myself, but these leadership skills were being instilled right within me, and this respect and a lot of things. There's also probably the biggest thing that I gained out of the military, because if you talk to anybody, they will say like, you're in the military? It doesn't really fit me. But the biggest thing I got out of it was an appreciation for what we have here. I came back, when I got out of the military, I said, you do a lot of hurry up and wait in the military. You sit around a lot. And you might be sitting around in Afghanistan or Iraq, and you think a lot. And I just remember thinking, like, when I get out, when I get back, I want to do something powerful. And teaching at that time seemed to be that thing. And then when I got out of the military, I said, that might be my thing. And I appreciated having that teaching job so much. I taught in Howell, New Jersey. I taught 4th grade and I taught 5th grade. Amazing.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
Such a great experience. And in teaching, I think, talk about what skills I got out of that. That's when I really, being in front of kids every day and having that experience really just took me to a different place. And as a teacher, I really started to totally realize, how important this role is in front of students, and like, how can I use that, and how can I teach them some of those bigger life lessons? And as a teacher, I enjoyed the entire ride. I worked in one of the best districts in the state, hands down. I worked with some of the most amazing professionals, people I still consider my friends, 100%, and the students were unreal. I miss them, I think back on them all the time. And I walked away from that really knowing, that's how important it was for me to try to create something new and to try to teach these bigger life lessons. So I had a really, really great experience both in the military and in teaching. I wanted to kind of take those and create Lead You.
Yeah, it's funny. As you were talking, I was thinking, most people misunderstand the military, thinking leadership in the military is about command and control, but it really isn't. It's about inspiring, persuading, and collaborating.
Absolutely.
So when you teach leadership to high school students, and that's one of your programs, I guess, right? What kind of skills do you focus on?
Communication, especially in this day and age. Looking away from the phone and really listening to what your friends are saying. We do a thing where we have them in a small group, really having engaging conversations about we'll give them a topic and having just to have a simple conversation, to have that level of communication. I think that is such a huge part of being a teenager right now. And are you really tuned in, and are you really listening to what somebody around you is saying and receiving what they're saying, not just waiting for your next opportunity to talk.
That's great.
And really kind of take in what's happening.
The good thing for people who are watching to understand about this is you do this for groups of 30 or 40 or more high school students.
Absolutely.
And so it's not a one-on-one kind of a teaching experience. Is a high school that wants to create an event like this would call you?
Absolutely, yeah. You reach out to us, we'd set up a preliminary meeting, and then we'd have that meeting and we'd look at the numbers and we'd say, all right, well, what can we do that would really have a big impact on your school? Not only that, things happen very quickly. I always said when I started the company, this was kind of like a tagline, and then I started living the tagline. And it was basically, every school is different. It has a different culture, it has a different set of leadership, a different style, if you will. And I always said that, and now that I've had the opportunity to do this for the last year and a half, I'm starting to actually see, that's so true. We're in the same township. The school's right across the street from each other. So different. Just
really different styles, different
buildings, just completely different buildings. It's all about culture and a vibe that they create in there, and kind of picking up on that as an outsider coming in. What can we do to embrace your culture, to embrace the vibe that you have in school?
Such a good point. So you don't go in and reinvent the school by any means.
No way.
You learn enough about the school to be able to represent the school's culture in an event that you create for their students.
Absolutely. A lot of times schools will say, we're rolling out, in the beginning of the year, we're rolling out a new behavior program or a new leadership program, a new character education program, whatever it might be. Can you be part of this? So I say, what's the program? We put a slide up during the show and we say, hey, we know here at DisruptED Elementary School that you are doing this new program called Character Counts. And it's great that you're doing this program, and then we base all of our language is based around that program. So we infuse that language into the program, which helps reinforce whatever the school objectives are.
Now you wrote down a couple of other organizations you work with, not just schools. You've done work with Great Adventure, which is a large amusement park.
Yes, very excited.
Talk about that.
Very excited to announce we have a new partnership with Great Adventure.
Great.
And Great Adventure does a tremendous amount of work with schools in New Jersey, and they have a lot of different days where the students come in and they'll sit through leadership assemblies, anti-bullying work, whatever it might be. A lot of students and parents maybe aren't aware of that, but they shut down the park for a little bit, and then they open it up later for the kids to really enjoy the park and also get a little bit of character education in there. So our role in that is they graciously brought us on as a partner where they want us to help design and customize programs for when they have these big events and these big days. And our first one is coming up on May 23rd. It's going to be, it's funny. So I had a conversation, Great Adventure called me, and as a kid living in New Jersey, Great Adventure was my Disney.
Right, exactly.
I was there all the
Absolutely.
time. And when Great Adventure called me, first of all, I was geeking out a little bit. I was talking to them. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, can we ride the Batman ride? I was very excited. And they said, yeah, we really want you to do some anti-bullying work with the students that are coming in. There's going to be over 10,000 students coming for Safety Patrol Day. And they said, is there anything you can do? And they said, we were thinking that maybe you could design a scavenger hunt in the park. And for a moment I didn't say anything. I was just like, all right, so you're telling me that you are giving me the keys to Great Adventure to design a scavenger hunt?
And they said,
they're
yeah,
like,
we are.
Absolutely. I said, yeah. I said,
cool.
I was like, sign us up, So we got together as a team. We designed the scavenger hunt where the kids walk in. They're going to meet us at the fountain, and they're going to be going through the park. And at each station, they're going to be getting a little taste of Lead You, which is maybe one of our strategies or one of our games, essentially, that they're going to be playing that helps them not only feel empowered, learn a little bit about leadership, and learn a little bit about mindfulness at each station. And then they get a stamp in their book and, scavenger hunt, so they'll be going all around the park.
So these are dry, boring experiences, obviously.
It's
pretty obvious to me that they're the opposite of that.
Yes.
And there's a certain physicality involved in it, too. I mean, the kids move around. They don't just sit there.
Absolutely.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were saying, kids learn through experience. And so having them get up, move around, and experience something, they're going to eventually, that'll stick with them. That moment in time will stick with them. And as a teacher, I always thought that, and I think that's why we designed the programs. They want to get up.
Sure.
I wanted to get up, and like sometimes I'd be sitting there and they're just itching to get up, and to give them understand that about them. I think, in the state and definitely in the country now with mindfulness and the big push that's happening, I think everyone is realizing that, and there's so many programs out there, especially things that teachers are doing in their classroom that recognize that, they need to get up, they need a stretch break. When I was in school, it was just, you were glued to that seat. I'm sure the same for you. So getting them up, moving around that's crucial.
That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned also you have a partnership with Hackensack Meridian Health.
So yes, speaking about mindfulness, I luckily ended up running into one of the community outreach individuals for Hackensack Meridian Health, Lisa, and she said, we're doing a lot with mindfulness, and as starting the company, is something that my staff will hear me say all the time. I don't have all the answers. I'm constantly learning. And so I said, we would love to sit down with some of the health experts and some of the experts who not only know about mindfulness, but they know about healthy habits for eating habits, healthy things you can be doing inside and outside of school. We sat down with them and we actually ran a workshop with them up here in Red Bank, and they learned a little bit about what we do, and then we learned a little bit from them as well. And they said, this makes a lot of sense. Not only they're giving us that proper educational background on it, but then we are able to deliver it in a engaging, interactive, and fun way. So it's not just a PowerPoint.
Right.
So the synergy there is really, we're looking forward to seeing how this continues.
Where do you see the company going from now here?
Great question. So my vision right now is I want to make sure that we continue to have a solid product in New Jersey, especially. I want to make sure that every school we go to, which I can honestly say is happening, whenever we go to a school, they always say, we'll be in touch, and they'll welcome us back, and they always say, that was amazing. I love the look on not only teachers' faces, the kids though. They come up and hug us afterwards. It's very...
they have a great time.
They really do. And so for that, I don't want... Sometimes when a company grows too fast, the product gets lost in there. Diluted, absolutely. And so my main focus is making sure that as we grow, the product stays consistent and the training for my other staff members continues to grow. I think that's where we're headed as a company is... right now we've done 121 schools in New Jersey.
In a year and a half.
In a year and a half.
Fantastic.
Which is great. Considering the first 3 months of that year and a half, the phone didn't ring because no one knew what it was.
Right.
They're like, the guy with the whale called, what? They're asking. So So for right now, just continuing to have that consistent product. Luckily, getting opportunities like today and getting our brand out there within the community hopefully gets the word out so we can continue to be successful as we go to these schools.
Yes.
Ultimately, we would like to continue to grow
Right.
and grow throughout the country, and hopefully franchise and keep the training to ensure the product
That's
is
terrific.
growing as well.
How'd you get that logo?
The whale. All right. So everyone always asks, what's the deal with the whale?
Right, sure.
It's the number one question, and we kind of usually keep it a mystery. So we'll turn the cameras off for
Okay.
this part now.
Welcome to Whale Tank, where school assembly programs pitch their ideas to extremely rich investors to see if they will book them for the 2017 school year. Today we have the Lead U crew, fronted by veteran and former grade school teacher J.D. Wilson. Let's see what happens when they jump into the Whale Tank.
Hello, whales. My name is JD, and today I am seeking your time and energy to invest into us, the Lead U crew. You might be asking yourself, what makes our school assembly company different than all the other ones? Well, the answer to that is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1.
We know that every school building is different, so we customize our assemblies to make sure it meets the need of your unique building.
2.
We believe in small group-based activities, so when your students enter our assemblies, we break them up into teams and have them compete.
3.
We roll deep. The Lead U crew brings 6 to 10 teaching artists to ensure that every student has an empowering and individualized experience.
So, whales, that's what makes Lead U truly a worthy investment.
Hold on. Are you saying that the kids are going to be moving around,
Absolutely.
working in small groups,
Yes.
and participating in competitions?
Yes.
So we don't have to just sit there the whole time?
Nope.
What's the deal with the whales?
Next question.
What do you think about apples?
Love the phone, love the fruit. Could do without the sauce.
Are your assemblies peanut-free,
And gluten-free.
porkle, or tail or ham?
Bacon.
Your facial hair seems aggressive. Anything we can do about that?
Christina?
I'll shave.
So we get to compete in a lot of competitions.
Yes.
Is soup a food or a drink? Food or drink, people. Food or drink.
A chunky drink.
This is a waste of time. I'm out.
Do you like cheesesteaks?
Only from Philly.
I'm out too. I'm out.
Yeah, JD, I'm out too.
Mom?
It's just business.
Okay, I'm probably out, but one last question. Is it fun?
Yes.
How much fun?
Very.
I'm in.
Empowerment. It's everything. Good job, Rick. I wish we had a better story, but the story is honest. Right after I left teaching, my girlfriend and I, she said, I think we need to get away and you need to think about this company and what you're going to do. So we took a trip to California. We drove the entire West Coast, Big Sur and all
Right.
throughout
Pacific Coast
there.
Highway.
Yeah, we did the
Uh-huh.
whole Pacific Coast Highway, and it was like a 12-day journey out
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like something out of a movie where we were sitting there on the cliff, and we saw these whales breaching,
Okay.
and I said, instead, I know that this moment is awesome. I've always been fascinated by whales. There are these big, peaceful, humble creatures that
Right.
are out there,
That's
and they're and I just had this moment where I said, I need a symbol, and I feel like it should be the whale, and everyone around me at the time was just like, absolutely, let's go with this. So that's where it came from.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it just felt right in the moment, like I said, and I had somebody locally design this for me, a friend of mine.
Okay.
She did a great job.
So a school that's out there that wants to hire you for
Yes.
an event, I mean, the cool thing about this is it's, what you do is you take a learning objective like mindfulness
Right.
and you kidify it
Yes.
in a way, and you integrate it with the school so that it feels like it's part of the school and not something that sort of hangs off to the side.
Absolutely.
And it's affordable. I mean, we talked a little bit about
Yes.
the program. It's schools that are considering this will call you to get a quote.
Absolutely, yeah. We will customize a quote based on the numbers and based on what they're looking for. And I mean, yes, everyone, especially my family, my girlfriend will tell you it's very affordable.
It's very
Probably too affordable. But I want to get the mission out there and the vision out there. And in order to do that, I understand that schools are working with whatever they have.
So how many schools? How many schools ask to have that great shirt you have on and put it in the program?
They always want it. Yeah, we will bring some with us. Absolutely,
Okay,
and we have
sure.
stickers too that we give the kids. And the stickers out there as well. Which always helps. Yeah.
We're at that part of our program where you get to tell everybody how to reach you. So
okay,
I'm gonna
great.
talk into the program into the camera, JD.
All right. Hi, Earth. JD Wilson here with Lead You. Would love to hear from you. Please reach out. Our website is www.leadyouThere. That's LEAD, the letter U, THERE.com. LeadyouThere.com. Reach out on our submission page, and then we will be in touch within 24 hours. You can also check us out on Instagram @leadyou_, and you can also see us on Twitter as well. That's @lead_you_ or Facebook. We are out there. If you need us, we are definitely here waiting for you.
Good. JD Wilson, what
Hey,
a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
having
I
you.
appreciate
meeting
it,
you.
gentlemen. This was great.
And by the way, thank you for your service.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was great.
And my name is Alcini.
I'm still Joe Osamendi.
And this has been another terrific episode of DisruptED TV with a terrific guest. We hope you'll join us again for a future episode.
Thanks again.